everyone. Coach Sullivan here again with MJS Coaching Football. To my subscribers, I thank you, and to those who haven't, I really hope you do. I just completed my 38th year coaching football. I was a defensive coordinator, but over that span, I've also been an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, longtime head coach. I've coached every position on defense, offense, and all of this at both the collegiate and high school levels. What I'd like to talk to you today is about a member, a subsection of our plug family that we call a Spark Blitz. Okay? And so specifically out of our 3-4, this is what we call the Blackhawk Spark Blitz. It's an A and B plug on the same side. Okay? So there are some rules that are going to apply, but this is something new, and I can't wait to go through this with you. Okay? It's great versus all personnel group, offensive personnel groupings. You can utilize it out of all fronts. Okay, it's best out of a too high look. Okay, to start, although it does not have to be. So today, key terms. First of all, Spark Blitz. That's a safety plug. SP. Okay, specific. It's a safety plug. Spark Blitz. And so that kicks in a few things, as you'll see. We go through this. Okay. The naming, it's a military code for the whip. So we talk about military helicopters. Blackhawk helicopter equals B gap, right? B, B. And then we have a call so the whip knows he's going A gap. Okay, but this is where if you're not a subscriber, I wish you would, because then you have access to all of it, right? What we call screw timing for the safety. It's called what we call the creep technique, and it's based upon snap indicators. Okay, it could be the quarterback, could be the center. I'll go through it a little bit, but that's where we as coaches come in and film study. Do we have snapping? And we always do, that we can use, especially for our safeties, to help them time it up when they are in fact blitzing without showing the entire world they're blitzing, right? Our near edge read is the inside linebacker is going to be the center. He's the A gap plugger. The safety, it's going to be the guard because he's the B gap plugger. AB, same side. Okay, no read here. The readout is only for the inside linebacker, and that same side guard, which I'll show you, when he pulls away, that's when the inside linebacker reads out. That's the only scenario. For the safety, there is no readout, and we're going to show you why. Okay? Hopefully this makes sense. The inside linebacker is doing it for the safety. And what we call +1 in the box. The safety adds to the box, whether it's run or pass box. Okay, so it's good to stop running plays and screw up run schemes, but it's also great to attack protections. Okay, so what I have for you today, I have this versus 21, I have it versus 11, and I have it versus 10, just to illustrate the versatility of this. Okay, sometimes coaches think safety blitz, oh my God, right? No, that's one of the big reasons why I'm going to show you how this works. Okay, and so the readout, I'm only going to show that to you up top. I don't think there's any need for me to show you the same side guard pulling away every single time because it's the same. Okay, so what I am going to do is I'm going to put the defensive part of the pressure Blackhawk in black. And when I do show same side guard pulling away, I will put him in red. Okay? All right. So up top here, right? These are all middle of the field, middle of the field, middle of the field, middle of the field. Okay? So again, non-subscribers, if you subscribe and you go to my base fronts on the whiteboard, right, you get all the reasons behind this. So I have the W, the whip in red, and the same side inside linebacker also in red. It's backer Mike, as it turns out. Okay? So the way this works, both outside linebackers know they're taught, I should say, and then they know they have force on either side. Okay? The outside linebackers have the force. This is an important, very important point. Okay? Now, in addition to that, the whip, this is his blitz, so the whip makes the lucky Ringo call. So over here, he's on the right. It's Ringo. So we're in cover trio. So again, non-subscribers, right? Hit that subscribe button. It's free, and you get all this. I'm not planning on getting into all the specifics of the covers. Just that. Trio, if it's Ringo, the safeties are also saying Roger, and we'll see how that plays out. Okay? So as far as the pre-snap calls go specific to this blitz, we better hear orbit on both sides so everybody knows, okay, we got our force covered. Ringo, so we understand which way the blitz is. And then Roger, so we make sure the safeties are coordinating their spin. Okay? So, it's Ringo. Snap of the ball. The nose goes away from the call. So he's slanting A-gap away from the call. Both defensive ends are slanting it to C-gap. Okay? Inside linebacker on the side of the call. It's that straight A-gap plug. So we are reading that near edge of the center. And I'll go through that in red with you. Now it comes the part of the whip, the creep. Okay? So snap indicators. We've seen not everything, but all the things we've seen when it's the quarterback. If he's under center, at what point is it likely that the ball is going to be snapped? Now, I'm not talking about freeze counts, but I will cover that in a second, okay? Does he come out? Does he go through a whole routine? And when his hands go under, you've found that rhythmically, it's usually within 1,001 or 2 that he snaps the football. So if that's the case, when the quarterback's hands go under, this whip starts creeping. All right? Is it when his hands go under, say they go under right away, he always looks left, right, and then he starts the cadence, and then it's usually within a count or two. Because please remember, we also got a play clock, right? Have you been able to see on how you can't always see the scoreboard? I know I've been in leagues where you had to show the scoreboard in between plays, and not every league's the same. Is the ball always snapped at least at 10 seconds or less on the play clock, right? I mean, these are all the indicators. If he's in gun, when he drops his hand, is it usually rhythmically within a count, or he lifts his foot, or when the hands go up? We've played teams where one of the two guards is looking back at the quarterback when the guard slaps the center, again, within a count, right? These are all the various snap indicators. So whatever they are, okay? The safety begins to creep. And what we tell them is stay behind, if at all possible, your inside linebacker. Okay? We want you hitting at full speed. So as you start to creep, he's eyeing the football. He's eyeing the football. Eyeing the football. Sees the football. Okay? So that's our step. So the freeze count shouldn't bother us. Okay? Everything we do, we have a stick ball. Everything. Okay? So there's the creep. And on the snap of the football, he's plug blitzing that B gap. Now he's reading the near edge of the guard. Okay? Straight plug A gap, read near edge of center. Creep, straight plug B gap, read near edge of the guard. Okay? But look at how much we've covered already, and I still have so much more to cover. Okay? So now the near edge, right? Near edge to him, peel and penetrate. Near edge away, bend. Near edge to, peel and penetrate. Near edge away, bend. See, everything stays consistent. All right? So the reason only the inside linebacker is going to read out and not the safety, and the only scenario is same side guard pulling away. Let me kind of try and clean this up a little bit, because I know this gets messy fast. Is this, okay? I don't want a readout linebacker colliding with the safety because they're both straight blitzing. If the inside linebacker reads out on a pull to him, he's going to collide into the safety. Don't want that. Okay, I just don't want that. And we could teach a safety how to bend and peel and penetrate. Reading out's a whole different ballgame. They don't get to practice that a lot. Okay? They really don't. And also, I mean, he might be at 8 yards when the ball snapped. He'll never be closer than the inside linebacker. So he's anywhere from 5 to 8 yards. In a two-back, he's starting at 8, so he's most likely going to be at 5. In a one-back, he's starting at 12. He's probably going to be at 8. That's fine. Then everything is the same from there. We want that inside foot up at all times. That's part of the creep. As they creep, they're always keeping their inside foot up because in their stance, this is big, they too have a staggered stance. The inside foot is up. The outside foot is the back foot. Part of the creep is they step with the inside foot first, keeping that stagger. So when the ball snaps, they can dig off the front toe and drive, right? Because that's part of the footwork. Both inside linebacker and safety equal dig and drive footwork. So again, non-subscribers, you're going to have to get the real specifics. I spent about almost 5 minutes talking about the dig and drive technique, okay? So the creep, to keep that staggered, you basically almost like an inchworm, inside foot, back, inside, back, so you keep the stagger, and when the ball snapped, okay, ding it off and drive it. So as he's creeping, he's got a little bit more weight on that front foot. Okay, so now let me go over the specific, the one readout here, one. Okay, the designated blocker, he pulls away. This A-gap plug blitzer is going to read out, patch over the top. Safety will continue. The safety will continue. Okay, that's going to get real messy if they both try and read out and patch over. Forget it. Safety stays on course. Okay, and then if you saw my single B-gap plug blitz, if he were to pull this way, it's just a peel and penetrate. It's the same thing. So there's no readout there either. Okay, so that's it. That's the only readout, and it's the inside linebacker only away from him for that reason. If it were to him and he read out, he'd knock into the safety. Not happening. Okay, so that's pretty clear. And because of this scenario, as you teach it to your players, they get it. They get it. Okay, so I'm now going to transition down in a second. Just the one thing I want to connect is the Roger on the snap. Okay, he rotates middle of the field on the snap. That's the Roger. If it's Ringo Rogers, so the safeties are spinning together, meaning moving in the same direction. Okay, so again, non-subscribers, do so. You can see the trio in the playlist. Okay, so that's what that's all about. Okay, replacing each other. Okay, so now down here, versus 11 personnel. Again, we got the whip. Again, now this time the inside linebackers are Mike. Again, we got orbit. Okay, that's a little tease, non-subscribers. So now the whip's on the left. He's saying Lucky. So now he's saying Louie. Okay, on the snap, away from it, A-gap, C-gap, C-gap, A-gap. Creep, B-gap, on the snap, rotate. So he doesn't move to the ball snapped, ever. Okay, that too many tips. If this quarterback sees the creep, he sees the creep. What I have done and will do very frequently is I will have the safeties creep every so often on the snap. Their punch back is the term. It's just a ruse, especially if it's part of the game plan, the safety blitz. I'll do the fake creep. I'll have them do that numerous times before we call the blitz. So now this time when the creep happens, the quarterback kind of ignores it and then he blitzes. Follow me? So that's something easy that you can do. All right. And now down here, versus 10, again, wide open. So it's Liz because right-handed quarterback, again, non-subscribers. Okay. Doesn't cost a penny. So now the whip's back on the right. He's saying Ringo. He's saying Roger. On the snap, going away. C gap, C gap, A gap. Got the creep going. B gap. Okay, so we rotate to a single high look because one of the two safeties is blitzing, right? So that's what we have to do. Okay, so again, it's versus 10, 11, 21. And we've done it versus 20. We've done it versus 22. Done it versus 12. It's good versus all positional groups. So again, just to recap here, a Spark Blitz is a safety plug. So it's part of the plug family, but with a few tweaks, which is what I just taught you with the readouts. That's why we specify it as a Spark. It's a member of the plug family, but since it's the safety, you got to tweak the readout rule, okay? So if the safety's left, everything stays the same. Lucky, safety's right. Ringo, Ringo. If it's a Lucky, it's a Louie for the safety spinning to make sure we properly compensate. If it's a Ringo, it's a Roger. Okay, again, the trio, you'll have to see the playlist. So non-subscribers, hit that subscribe button. All right, and if you have any questions ever, please, to everyone, reach out to me at CoachMJSullivan@gmail.com because I would love to talk football with you.